Hello ladies and gents, and welcome back to the ASSL Golf channel. Today is the final video of 2021. Unfortunately, I'm not here with the bear. He's already had COVID, I've got COVID now. Omicron is taking the boys down. What we're going to do today is take a look back at 2021, who we've played with, where we've played, and what we've been up to. All the best and worst bits from the year. As always, please remember to give this video a like, subscribe and smash the notification bell. Okay, so into the video. What we're going to do is have a look at the Azzie v Scott matches through the year, then the challenges, and then we're going to go on to some of the end of year awards. So the very first Azzie versus Scott of the year was done in my hometown Montrose in season 1. To start with, I was 6-5 up, but we went into the match and it was a bit of back and forth. The bear played very well throughout, holding some good putts, not giving me some dodgy decisions, and then eventually finishing off the match on the 7th hole to take it to 6-all. We then moved from the links onto the parkland where we played Ladybank Golf Club. Again, the bear played well, but unfortunately that was on the front nine when we didn't film. Into the back nine, again a bit of back and forth. Both of us in the heather at different points. The bear having an absolute shocker, going from a bunker to almost out of bounds on one of the holes. That let me in with a sniff of the chance of the win, and I took it on the 17th hole. That took the score back to 7-6. Next we went on to Ranfurly, playing with our mates Jaff and Cook. An early birdie set the tone of the round for me. I played well. The bear did struggle throughout. I went Dormy 3 up and even gave him this dodgy putt on the 16th for a birdie, but I managed to close things off with a nice one on the 17th. That took the scores to 8-6 with 3 left in the series. Next up was Stonehaven, right on the coast, a picturesque scene. Been up 8-6 with 3 matches remaining, I decided to make things interesting and play a scratch match. But it really didn't matter in the end because I put the foot down with 4 pars and a birdie to secure a 5-4 victory on the channel. That took the series score to 9-6 and out of sight for Azzie. The penultimate match of the season took us to Moneyfief Golf Club. We were struggling a little bit because we'd been out the night before, but that did not stop the bear from playing some decent golf. He holed a couple of good putts and I missed a couple of easy putts. I thought I'd started to get back in the match when my ball somehow managed to bounce straight off the train tracks and back into the fairway, but the bear finished out the match with this absolutely unreal putt, which brought the score back to 9-7. That meant there was only one course left in season 1, and that was Arbroath. We turned up on what was potentially the wettest day of the year, and both the boys struggled initially. However, we did pull off a couple of good shots, like this bunker shot from me, and then this unbelievable putt from the bear. The bear really did start to struggle in the conditions, and it all got a little bit too much for him when he put one out of bounds and then lost the head and started topping hybrids down the fairway. That left me to wrap up the match on the 8th hole and seal a 10-7 series victory. But if you thought we were done there, you were absolutely wrong. We were back for season 2 of Azzie vs Scott. We started off the season in tough COVID times, which meant we could only play certain courses, so we started off on my home course's second course, the Kia course. The greens weren't in the best condition, but Azzie really took this by the scruff of the neck and went into a 2-up lead through 6 holes. Somehow managed to win holes 7 and 8 to take it all square down the last. I then almost told this absolute raker on the last to put the pressure on him, but the bear does what the bear does, and he holed this one on the 9th hole for a 1-up victory. We then made a trip back to Ranfurly for the second time this year, in what was our longest match of the year. This time we'd be playing the front nine, and there was a bit of back and forth quite early on. There was a couple of good putts made and a couple of putts missed, and it led me to being 1-up going down the 9th hole. Unfortunately, I could not capitalise and made a silly bogey. Eventually, we made it to the second extra hole, and the bear managed to stay solid and secure the second victory of the year. Back we went to Codder, and this time we were playing the back nine. Azzie got off to the worst start possible, didn't even finish the first hole. It continued along the same vein from there, and we even managed to play Codder's very own version of Amen Corner. Some solid play from me saw me go 4 up with 4 to play, but I mucked up 15 and 16 to produce a nervy finish, and then eventually managed to close it out on 17, even though I tried my best to muck it up. We were then treated to playing with a real athlete, Glenn Middleton, St Johnstone and Rangers football player, who took us to Hags Castle Golf Club. The last thing I could afford to do was make as many 3 putts as I did. 4 3-putts in the 9 holes is really not going to do it for a man. And it also doesn't help when Azzie's got tree trouble and then he chips in for par anyway. The big man secured the victory on the 17th hole to take him 3-1 up. At this point we were still venturing around Glasgow, and that took us to Marhall Golf Club, where we played with entrepreneur Richard Dixon. Some really good golf from me, even opening up with an eagle putt and an eventual birdie. I stayed on top of Azzie the whole game, which was not difficult when the big man is producing shots like this. That led me to being dormy 3 up, but I did what I do best, and that was muck it up. 3 missed putts on holes 7, 8 and 9 took us down the 10th hole, where eventually I did get the victory. That put Azzie 3-2 up. Next up was Kilmacombe. Again, this one was a really tight one throughout. There was never more than 1 hole in it, and it was back and forth between the 2 of us. A crucial missed putt on the 8th by me here meant that Azzie went down the 9th 1 up. He put the pressure on by hitting the green and successfully 2-putting from range, which meant I had to hold his birdie putt to tie the match, and I couldn't do it. Azzie 4-2. Next up on our Glasgow trips, we went to Erskine Golf Club. You'll be shocked to hear it was yet another tight match. This time not so much due to good golf, but due to poor golf. I missed a putt on 10, Azzie mucked up 11, Azzie mucked up 12, I mucked up 13, and then Azzie stormed into a 2-up lead, including this birdie putt here. By the time we got to 17, it was 1 up to Azzie, and I took that one after an uncharacteristic 3-putt from the big man. I even managed to give myself a putt to win the match on the 18th, but it just wouldn't drop for me. Down the first extra hole we went, and this shot here is the most controversial one between the boys all year. To this day we still argue about the outcome of this ball. Azzie says a yard left and it's great. I disagree. Either way, I managed to get up and down from the side of the green for a par and close the match 4-3 to Azzie. And in our final match of Glasgow and the greater area, we went to Roallan Golf Club. We were joined by Scottish golf photographer Graham McCubbin, who really showed us how to hit Bryson's driver. Not great golf from the boys. I dumped one in the water on the 2nd, Azzie lost one down the 4th, and then he mucked up the 7th as well. It didn't matter though, I managed to make myself a nice little birdie. On to the 8th, things were still all square, both of us hitting it into a similar position, but me doing what I do best, and 3-putting. Azzie went down the last 1 up and managed to secure things with a safe par to win the match 2 up. 5-3 Azzie. Finally, COVID restrictions started to lift, and we made our way to Fife where we played London Golf Club. Probably the best greens we've played on all year. The wind really picked up and it made it quite tough for us as we exchanged terrible holes each to begin with. I managed to get myself into a 2-up lead, but unfortunately threw it away from hole 6 onwards, especially on hole 8 where I hit the best drive of my life only to walk up and realise it was in the water. Down the 9th I had some issues as well, and I thought Azzie was going to take it when I hit my 9-iron 25 yards too long. But it didn't matter, we halved that and went on to hole 10, where Azzie managed to stick one straight in the bushes, much to his disgust, and I wrapped up the match to take things back to 5-4 Azzie. And we had a double filming day that day, because then we went on to one of the best new courses in all of Scotland. It's Dumbarnie Golf Club. Without a doubt, the best golf we've ever played on camera. The birdies were flying in for the boys. I got myself into a 2-up lead with 2 holes to play after this birdie on the 7th, but Azzie responded well with a birdie of his own on the 8th and then a safe par on the 9th to take things down an extra hole. And the 10th at Dumbarnie is a tough par 4. Azzie dunked one into the bunker off the tee, which meant he was going to have to lay up. I decided to lay up, and then in the most clutch moment of my life, I've hit the pin with my 3rd shot and then walked up and tapped it in for par. Azzie couldn't hold the putt, and that was the score back to 5-all. With the score still even after 10 games, we moved on to West Kilbride Golf Club. Another fantastic golf course in fantastic condition. We had yet another tight match. There was some good golf played throughout the first 7 holes of the match, which left us all square with 2 holes to play. But then a meltdown from me out of nowhere on 17 meant Azzie went down the last 1 up. With the pressure on me, I stuck a drive out left and Azzie went straight down the middle. He then stuck his 2nd shot stiff and then rolled it in for birdie. That put him 6-5 up, leading to one of our biggest weeks of the year, the Murray Open. And of course we made great use of this week of golf by playing a lot of good golf courses, starting off at Castle Stewart. The course is top 10 in Scotland, but I can tell you we got it on one of the most difficult days of the year. Gale force winds saw me really struggle to keep the ball in play, planting 2 off the planet left on the very first hole. It didn't get any better from there, and Azzie stormed to a 5-3 victory. The less said about that one, the better. The week continued with more appearances from the boys. This time we were at Granton Golf Club. Some good golf in there from the boys, with some clutch putts being made and a couple of birdies thrown in the mix. Just a shame it wasn't by me and Azzie. I managed to get myself into a 1-up lead after 15 holes, after Azzie managed to lose 2 off the tee. But then he responded with a birdie of his own, and a meltdown from me on 17 took him 1 up down the last. All 4 boys driving the par 4 and no birdies between us. 2 pars for me and Azzie meant it wrapped it up for him, 1 up. That took him into a 3-match lead. We were then treated to the man, the myth, the legend, Shawnee Captain Cuddly Geddes at Hopeman Golf Club. On one of the hottest days of the year, the course was baked out and it was impossible to try and keep this ball under control. We did, however, get to play one of Scotland's most beautiful golf holes, and it wouldn't be our channel unless we played it a little bit different. Back to the match, and it was a tight one again. Going down the 18th all square, I'd stuck one in the bunker but managed to hit the green. Azzie was over the back with a tough chip. He played it well and rolled in the putt, which meant I did have a putt for the match, and I somehow still managed to make it shaky. But it's okay, I 2-putted and we went down the first extra hole. I played a poor chip here, making a bogey, whereas Azzie 2-putted for a 1-up victory. That took him 9-5 up in the series. And we had time for one more at Elgin Golf Club. The boys had had a really big night the night before, but we were joined by Beefcake and Captain Cuddly. Some interesting golf played throughout, some good bits and some bad. Led to Azzie being 2-up with 2 holes to play. I managed to storm some sort of a comeback with a birdie on 17, and then the first time this has ever happened to us, the footage corrupted on hole 18. Azzie did manage to see it out, which meant he was 4-0 for the week and 10-5 up in the series. Coming towards the end of this year, we made our way over to Northern Ireland, where we started off things at Spa Golf Club with 2 of the Linfield FC players. Azzie really never got going in this one, even somehow managing a 4-putt. Yes, that's right, you heard me, a 4-putt. I played some solid golf and I finished things off with a 4-3 victory after 6 holes to take things back to 10-6. The next day saw us go to Beaver Golf Club. Yep, that is how it's pronounced. We played the front nine off the camera and I am not ashamed to tell you that I did not hit a green in regulation. It was a very tough day on the course for me, but I did manage to hit a green on hole 11. The bear made a miraculous up and down and played some good shots of his own, but after 7 holes on the back 9 and only hitting 1 green, somehow I was 1-up. I did a very typical Limpress thing and bombed one straight out of bounds, which meant we were all square going down the last. I managed to find yet another bunker, whereas the bear pulled off one of the shots of the year. That left me with a tricky up and down and him with a birdie chance. I played a good chip, he just missed his putt, and I tapped in to secure a half. The very first time this happened on the channel, we agreed to the draw and it was a half point each, 10.5, 6.5. And then we saved the best for last. We made our way over to Royal Portrush Golf Club. Yes, you heard me right, the Open Championship venue, and the boys were there. First off, we were playing the Valley course and this place was incredible. We could not have got a better day for it and the course was looking simply stunning. A mixture of good and bad golf from both the boys, including a lost ball from me on the 6th and a duff off the tee on the 7th for Azzie. That put the match to 1-up after 7 holes. The 8th hole was a tough par 5 where we both had chips in. Azzie managed to stay on the green just, and I didn't hit the green. Somehow, I don't know what happened, an adrenaline rush hit me and I zoomed it past the hole, whereas Azzie nestled his nicely up next to the cup. I didn't hold the putt back and that left Azzie to a 2-1 victory. And that takes us up to where we are now, where the score is 11.5, 6.5 to Azzie. We've still got plenty left in this series, and the next one up is a big one. It is the Dunluce course at Royal Portrush, where Shane Lowry won the Open. But Azzie vs Scott is not the only thing we've done this year. We've also started a series playing with guests to see how low we can go. So far we've played with ex-pro Rachel McQueen, where we shot 4 under par, and current Open Amateur Champion Louise Duncan, where we shot 2 under par. We made our very own golf format, drive, chip and putt, and we've managed to roll that out 3 times so far at Codder, Murray and London Links. We've kept things going with our various foot golf videos. Firstly at Cumbernauld, where we took on each other in a match. We then played with one of the Scottish national team players to predict Scotland's Euro results. We finished off the foot golf playing with Sam Wardrop, ex-pro footballer, and Craig Watson, current pro for Airdrieonians Football Club. They may have been pro footballers, but they were no match for me and Azzie, as we stormed to a 1-up victory. Lockdown golf saw us take on PGA Tour 2K21, and it's fair to say the boys were no better on the PS4 than we were in real life. However, we probably do play better courses in real life. You wouldn't catch me playing on the streets of Chernobyl. I also took on one of the biggest challenges so far, bulk like Bryson. 12 weeks of eating 4,000 calories and hitting the swing speed training every single day. The results from that one were absolutely incredible, and if you haven't seen that video, go and check it out now. But of course the best bit about the year is all of the amazing people we've played with. In no particular order, we've got all the boys: Michael Big Stick Baber, Scott Beefcake Crawford, Sean Captain Cuddly Geddes, Rory Ratcatcher / Coach McEwen, Ewan Big Daddy Kennedy, Matthew Aegis, Murray Grayston, Jack Touchy Feely McNeely, Rachel McQueen, Alona Stubley, Fraser Weir, Glenn Middleton, Clubface UK, Bollington Golf, Tom McIntyre, Richard Dixon, Graham McCubbin, Louise Duncan, Sam Wardrop, Craig Watson, Sam Roscoe, Chris Johns, and Ross Nelson. Honestly, I think the best bit about the channel is all these people that we get to play with and the courses we get to play. A big thanks to everyone who's contributed to the channel this year. We couldn't have done it without you. But now on to the final bit of the video, the awards. We've got 4 awards this year. Best course, best moment, best TikTok, and worst shot. So for best course, we've got Royal Portrush, Castle Stewart, Dunbarney, and Dundonald. And drum roll please, the winner is Royal Portrush Golf Club. Honestly, this place was the most pristine golf course I've ever been to. Everywhere you looked, everything was perfect. The day we got couldn't have been better, and it's a day I'll probably remember for the rest of my life. It didn't hurt as well that I actually played some good golf. You'll be seeing that good golf in the very first video next year at the Dunluce course. Okay, on to best moment of the year. We've got 4 nominations again, and they are Azzie chipping in for par after being in the trees at Hags Golf Club, me hitting the train track at Moneyfieth, me hitting the pin down the first extra hole at Dunbarney, and Azzie holing the putt on the last to win the very first match of Azzie vs Scott Season 2. And the winner is me hitting the train track at Moneyfieth. One of the funniest moments I've ever had on a golf course. Not only did I nearly go out of bounds with my drive, I've then hit it clean out of bounds with no chance of it being safe on this second shot, and it pings in off the train track. One of the funniest moments of the year by far. So now on to our third category, TikTok of the year. If you didn't know, that's how we started things off, so if you haven't already, go and give us a follow over there. We've had some good ones this year, and the nominations are the putter cover on the driver, Graham McCubbin using Bryson's driver, Fraser Weir making an eagle at the foot golf, and me with my trousers down at Braid Hills. And the winner is Fraser Weir with the eagle. That TikTok's got over 40,000 likes. If you go to the comments there, you will see hundreds that just say, that's my PE teacher. Big shout out to Fraser, what a foot golfer that man is. And the last category is worst golf shot of the year. The nominations are me on the first at Castle Stewart bombing 2 miles left, Azzie out the bunker at Ladybank, hitting the road and then almost going out of bounds, Glenn Middleton nearly missing the ball completely at Hags Castle, and me out the bunker at West Kilbride clearing the wall with Louise Duncan. And the winner is Glenn Middleton nearly missing the ball. I'm sure Glenn will be delighted with this award and he can add it to his cup winning medals from last year. Honestly, looking back at this shot, I'm still not sure how the ball ends up where it does. What a boy, Glenn Middleton. So that sees the end of our roundup of the year and the awards. Honestly, what a year it's been. We've played some unbelievable courses, met some unbelievable people, and had some unbelievable times. A big thank you from me and Azzie for everyone that watches and engages with these videos. It really makes it worthwhile when you see in the comments people actually enjoying what we're creating. If you haven't done so already, can you give us a like this video, comment what your favourite moment of the year was, and subscribe and hit the notification bell. All the best for the new year when it comes, and we will see you in the first video of the year at Portrush Golf Club.